Hi there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at 12 Rivers by Good Games Publishing.
Twelve Rivers is a game in which you are going to be trying to put your tribe tokens on a vertical board. And what you're trying to do with those tribe tokens are to stop the different marbles that will be rolling down the 12 different rivers, hence the name 12 Rivers, trying to collect the colored marbles that you need to fill up your villager tiles for maximum points. This is a game in which you might not get the marbles you think you are getting because the marbles are going to be claimed by different players, so you want to place those tribe tokens in the most advantageous spots for you to get the marbles that you want. Let's go down to the table. I'll show you how this one works, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, I have 12 rivers on the table. Let me show you all this game with these marbles that will be rolling down this slanted board. Now, what you have for components, you are going to have this board that you see out here. You are also going to have lots of cards in the game. You will have these villager tiles that are going to have holes in them to be able to put the marbles in there. These are going to be the starter ones, as you can see with the numbers up here. You'll shuffle these up, give them to the players at random, and that will tell you your starting turn order, which you will keep track of order over on this side of the board. Let me pan the camera a little bit so that you can see that a little bit better. And so you will have your turn order right here with these wooden tokens, these wooden tile pieces that are nice and thick. They are painted wood. You will have more of the villager tiles that you can see right here. These are going to be shuffled up. You'll have a small market of those throughout each round of the game. You will also have these alpaca tiles that are going to have spots to be able to hold your marbles that you get each round. And there are going to be more marbles that you will keep in the bag that you will be playing with throughout the course of the game. There are some extra tokens and other cards. We'll cover all those, what they do for you throughout the course of the game, but let's talk about how the game actually plays. And we're going to scoot the camera in so that you can see the board a little bit better, so that you can understand the concepts of the game. Now, what you're looking at right here, this is going to be the 12 rivers with the starting pearls, they're called pearls, at the top of the board. Now, as you can see, there are different colors, and the different colors mean different points, as you can see based on this legend right here. White marbles are going to be worth 5 points, whereas green marbles will only be worth 1. And what you'll be doing in a round, so going off of the turn order track that you can see right here towards the bottom of the screen, whoever is going to be first would take their tribe token, that's what these are called, and place it somewhere on the board. Now, the different areas that you can place up here on the 12 rivers, and the higher up that you go, the more cards you will have to pay to be able to place there. The highest being 3 cards. So if I wanted to go right up here at the very top, which would guarantee me whatever marble I'm placing in front of, so maybe I want this white marble because it is the most, it gives the most points, I might place my tribe token right here, slotting it in like so, but I would have to pay 3 cards. And what I mean by paying 3 cards, you start the game with a hand of cards, and these cards are going to give you actions that you can do, but you have to have a pair of cards to be able to cash them in for the action, such as the Shamisen, which after taking a villager, move your tribe token to the next available slot in the village. We'll cover what that means here in a second, but some of the other actions that you can do with these cards are to collect additional pearls whenever you are collecting pearls, which is something that you do at the end of every round, or taking fairy tokens from the board. That's what these little tokens are going to be if you are the first person to place in that area next to it. So anyhow, I would have to discard 3 cards to go up here at the very top, which that is pretty expensive, and cards are kind of hard to come by, so you don't want to just go up here at the top every time. You won't be able to afford it. So you might go towards the bottom, because in this area right here, you won't have to pay any cards. And if you actually place in the area lower, you will actually earn a card. You'll gain a card. There will be a small market of cards for you to choose from, cards that are face up, or you could draw off the top of the deck. That's your choice. And then if you go even farther down the board, looking at this bottom area right here, you could go in the lake, being the only person who can go in the lake. And any of the marbles that fall all the way to the bottom, you get all of the marbles that are here in the lake. So the lake is a nice place to go, but there may not be any marbles that fall all the way to the bottom, so that is a bit of a risk if you go to the lake. There's actually places down here as well, and when you put your token down here, you're actually going in the village. And what that means is that you will get a pick at the new villager tiles that are going to be in the market. There will be some out here in a market, and you get to pick one of these to be a new villager that you are trying to fill up with the matching color of marbles or pearls. So in this case, you want one white, 2 pinks, 2 greens, and anytime you fill up a villager tile, you've unlocked their scoring ability at the bottom, which this one's very simple. That this tile, when you fill it up, it gives you 8 points. Whereas this tile right here will give you 2 points for every pink that you have on all of your villager tiles. And this one means that you need a white, a green, and then any other color. Now, anytime you take one of these villager tiles, you also get a number of cards printed in the top left, which can be very nice, 3, but in order to do this, you can have any colors, but if you want the 3 points at the bottom, you need a white, a purple, a pink, a green, a blue, and a green. So that's how these all work. And again, you get those right down here. So all the players will go in the turn order that you see right here, placing their tribe token somewhere out on the board, panning that camera back up again. And then you'll resolve all of the tribe tokens going from top left, working your way to the right, again in this zone right here going to the right, and so on and so forth down the board. And if there are more than one tribe token in a region like so, then obviously you would go with the one that is in the top. And anytime that you resolve the token, you would take the token out, all the marbles would continue to fall. In fact, let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. Once all the tokens have been placed, and if you place a token next to a fairy token, you'll get to claim that. And what these are going to do, they're going to give you little bonuses based upon what the token does for you. It might count as a camp card, or it might give you a wild space on one of your villagers so that you don't have to have the exact color that you're looking for. Anyhow, these are very nice, and some of those villagers actually give you extra points if you have any of these left over at the end of the game that you didn't spend. So anyhow, we'll go ahead and keep putting tokens out here to show you what this would look like in a real game. And yeah, that's probably good enough. And then once all of the tribe tokens have been placed, you would release the marbles. So these marbles come flowing down the rivers, and they get stopped at the different tribe tokens. And you resolve these going, again, from top left to all the way at the bottom right. And so the first one we would do would be this blue token, and obviously there is only one marble here, and blue would get to take that marble, placing it on their alpaca. So you only have space for 6 marbles on your alpaca, so you have to be mindful, because if you collect marbles that don't fit on your villagers, well, then they're going to stay on your alpaca from round to round. And if you don't have any space on your alpaca when it's your turn to take a marble from the board, well, then you don't get that marble. You would just take back your tribe token, and you would lose your turn, essentially. Now, whenever you resolve your tribe token off the board up here, it goes to the bottom of the turn order track. So panning the camera back down again so that you can see that. If I am the first player to resolve a token, well, my token goes at the end of the turn order track for the next round. And we would continue to put tribe tokens on this board, filling it back up until we've resolved the very last section, which is going to be this section for villagers. And any tokens that are right here would go at the beginning of the track. And so looking back at the board right here, anytime there are lots of marbles gathered up in front of a tribe token, then you obviously get to pick whatever one you want from that. You don't get to take all of them. The rest will come back down to the bottom, and that's how the board gets resolved. And again, you'll take the marbles that you've collected on your alpaca, and then you'll place them on any villagers that you have open spaces for, trying to complete them to unlock their abilities in the bottom. And that's pretty much the gist of the game. There is another way to score 4 extra points by completing one of these cards, being the first player to do so. You need a specific number of the same color of marbles on your alpaca. It has to be on your alpaca, but at any point that you do that, you can cash in and take that card, which would give you 4 extra points. And these are first come, first serve, and there's one for every color in the game. The more common marbles needing 4 to complete. And so that's a fun little thing to try to complete with your alpaca. And you play 5 rounds in the game. So after the 5th round, you will add up your points that you have gotten from the villagers that you've fully unlocked, placing all the marbles, unlocking the ability in the bottom. You will also get points for any of the alpaca goals that you've completed. And you will also get points for all of the marbles that you have on your villagers, but not the ones that were left on your alpaca at the end of the game, based off of their color and the points that are listed over here. Whoever has the most points is going to be the winner, and that is how you play 12 Rivers. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one. And we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on 12 Rivers from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. So Sam, first thing I want to ask you about this one is the table presence with it, because it is unique in that it is a vertical board, or, you know, somewhat sloped. I mean, inclined board. That would be the best way of putting it, yes. And so with that, gravity plays a factor with the way this game works. It has some unique table presence with that. What were your thoughts seeing this out on the table?
I mean, it kind of reminds you of pinball. Just obviously it's the opposite, but just when you're looking at it, it kind of looks like pinball. Has the same
sure,
funnel. But no, I mean, it's definitely a really cool concept, yeah, to, you know, line all the marbles up. And I have to figure out, at first when I was playing it, I was like, well, you know exactly which ones you're gonna get, but you don't realize who goes first,
right?
And then depending on which one they pick, and you know, I think that there's more to it than you see initially.
Yeah, because at first look, this is a very straightforward game, like Sam says, that, you know, well, I obviously want these different colored marbles because this is what fits on my tile. There they are. Let me go and get them. But then, and I think it's because you start the game with probably as most cards as you're going to have throughout the course of the game. And so there's maybe a false sense of, I can do anything I want.
Yeah.
And then those cards start to run out, and then you quickly realize, well, wait a second, maybe I can't do everything that I want, or at least not after the first round anyway. And so you do have to you have to strategize and plan what you're going to be doing from round to round to be able to get the marbles that you want, or take the right villagers that would work best for the marbles that you can get. And so I think that there's a lot of good strategic choices that you have to make in this game. Sam, talk about your experience as a non-gamer trying to figure out how to do well in this, sinking your teeth into the game. What's that like?
It is very visual, and I think that's helpful. It's not, you know, all like logic or anything like that. So like you can see the point of the game. You can see where your different marbles are going to go. You see what colors you need. So I think like it's a simple concept. And so I think it's easy for a non-gamer to play. And then obviously there's the more complex aspects of it to figure out how to do well. But as far as like the general idea of how to play, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and I think it's fun too, being as visual as it is, because you, like we've been saying, you can see where the marbles are, and you can know, okay, if I go here, I only have to pay 1 card, and there's still a pretty good chance that the marble I'm wanting can fall down to me. Or if there's more than 1 marble that works for me, then you know, my odds are even better. But if I feel like, well, no, wait a second, I really think the other players really want that white marble because the white marble is the most rare, right? And so I got to go higher up on that mountain and pay more cards. Like, that's a pretty straightforward concept, and a lot of the game comes down to trying to figure out what you think the other players are going to do. So it does become a little bit of not necessarily reading the other players, but looking at what they've got on their boards, what marbles they're trying to go for.
Well, and it took me, I didn't even realize until we've played this game a couple of times with different people, and I didn't notice until the end of the last time we played it, which was probably the second or third time, that the marbles were worth different points.
Yes,
did not. It just does. I think maybe, to be fair, I was on every time I've been on the opposite side of the board that had that that legend. And I don't always pay attention. And so the last time I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering why there's no white marbles.
They're not all created equal.
Yeah. Why are there so many pink?
The green ones are always out there, and they're only worth 1 point.
Yeah. So I'll play better next time.
Yeah, no. That's one of my pros about this game, which we're going to get to pros and cons here real quick, is that, the marbles are distributed equally to that scoring regiment, but it's also equal to the villagers in that, the ones that are asking you to get a white marble are going to be the villagers that probably pay out better once you've completed them. And so I like that aspect. They've balanced it well in that regard. Speaking of pros and cons, let's go ahead and get to those real quick. So, Sam, the bullet point highlights on this one, what works well for you as a non-gamer?
I mean, the board is excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, the way your little tribe tokens fit into the little slots, the way the marbles run, like, it's it's very intricate, very pretty, and very well done.
Yeah, in fact, that was one of the things when I saw this at Gen Con, that was a worry of mine right from the get-go. Because a lot of times these kinds of games that have like unique table presence, they're vertical, they're 3D, they stand upright or whatever.
There's so much focus on the table presence and the gameplay.
Right. And the durability issues too. So I was worried about that with this. I am very pleased to report that I don't think you're going to have to work at breaking this game, I think, because it is so durable. They are wooden tokens, not chipboard, and so when you're slotting them in those little grooves, they're not going to bend or rip apart or anything like that. The board is made of thick foam. And so think about those like foam core inserts that maybe you've seen around in board games, putting in, organizing your board game pieces. That's kind of what the board is, the foamy part, and the surface of the board is pretty much like any kind of board game board, but it's thick with that foam. So you're not worried at all about the durability of the board and having to prop it upright and stick those little foot pieces in it. This is a really strong integrity game, so that's really nice thing to report on, and Good Games Publishing did a fantastic job with that and the publication of this game. So I would agree with that. What else sticks out well to you in this game?
I mean, I love the little llama and how you're keeping your marbles there, and the general gameplay, the picking of how you put your tribe token at the bottom to pick which I don't know the words for everything.
Well, what you're getting at there is the turn order aspect of the game. And that's maybe one of my favorite parts about this game is the turn order, because you pay a price getting, in more ways than one, getting first pick at those marbles, going way up on the mountain. Not only does it cost you cards, but you're going to go later in the next round. I love that mechanic with this game. It really places a good strategy of staying closer towards the bottom of the mountain, because not only do you get cards, but you're also going early in the next round, and so you may play into a strategy of getting those villagers that work well with any kind of marble. So there's strategy in with the turn order, and I like how that works. You also mentioned the llama. I think that's a pretty cool part of the game too, of balancing out. You can't just get tons of marbles. You've got to distribute them out on your villagers.
There's a specific time when you can distribute them, not just throughout.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's too long of a game. The box says 45 to 75 minutes. We played at a 4-player count, and I don't feel like it went 75 minutes.
Even with 7 kids interrupting us.
I think. and which tells me that this is an enjoyable experience, that you're not going to feel like the game's dragging on and on and on, or at least it wasn't for our experience. So Pretty exciting gameplay. I like, releasing the marbles and watching them fall.
Yeah.
There's, some novelty with that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything that maybe doesn't work so great for you?
This is very trivial.
Okay.
And it's not that it doesn't work. It's just something, thinking of our kids playing with games. The piece that you release the marbles,
yes.
if you lose that,
good luck with this.
You can't play the game.
Yeah.
It's almost like if it was maybe a little taller, just like a little bit bigger, because the height of it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But my friend mentioned that. She was like, if you lose that piece, you can't play this game. And she's absolutely right.
And the thing about that piece is, if you watch the rules portion of the video, you'll know what we're talking about. It almost looks like it's a throwaway piece. It almost looks like it's part of a punch out that you're not supposed to keep. And so, yeah, don't lose that piece. I mean, I'm sure you could probably find some kind of, I don't know,
like
replacement.
I said, it's pretty trivial.
Yeah.
But
no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I would agree with that. Any other cons for you with this one?
I would say the first couple of times I had difficulty, and again, this is me, maybe just an issue for a non-gamer. When the difference between a tribe token and what were the little
fairy tokens.
Tokens, and you would get cards.
The terminology.
That would say when you move this, do this, and I think I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use them because I was confused about when to use it, I guess.
Right. This is an example of the theming of the game being so much a part of how it's presented that it almost becomes like, what is a tribe token? What is a fairy token?
Yeah.
What are these things again? That, it does maybe slow down the game a little bit in having to explain to them, well, these are tribe tokens and these are that
and
tokens.
And as a non-gamer, that's always something that I have difficulty with.
Yeah, they could have done it a little bit different.
But I wouldn't say like the terminology in general is very difficult.
No.
Just there were times where I was like, which one are they talking about?
Yeah, for sure. They're also not called marbles, they're called pearls. And so, it's things like that, But yeah,
you see them and be like, move your wooden piece.
Right, exactly. Pick up your colored piece and put it in the slot. Yeah. Let's strip the theme away a little bit. Some of the cons for me, my biggest con for this game is that the player count. So it is a 2 to 4 player game. We have played it at 2 and we have played it at 4. 4 is a much better experience than 2.
And usually I don't feel that way.
Right. I enjoy playing games with a small crowd, just me and her. Not that I don't enjoy playing at 4 players, but I played most of the games with Sam.
Yeah.
And so when it did not go so great at 2 players, It
was fine. It just felt like,
Let's see, that's the thing, because I tried it first at Gen Con at a 4-player count and loved it. And I was like, yes, this is going to be fantastic. So then when we brought it home, tried it at a 2-player count, and it didn't go so great. I was like, I had really big worries about whether this game was going to work well for us or not. We tried it again at 4-player count, totally different experience. So the 2-player count should be called 6 rivers, because you only play with 6 rivers in this game. You don't play with 12. And that means you're only playing with half of the board. And it's a really kind of like, man, this whole other half of the board, we're not even doing anything with it. It's just there.
I remember asking him, like, at any point do we use the rest of it? And he was like, with 4 players.
Yeah. And so, you're getting, only half of the marbles that you normally would get each time. It just doesn't work so great, in my opinion.
I think we could play with each of us being 2 people.
That's a possibility. I would be curious to try that out. Yeah, for sure. It works better at higher player counts, in my opinion. That's not necessarily a huge con if you've got the crowd to play with. But if you are looking at this as just a 2-player game, a couples game, for instance, you might want to look elsewhere. This isn't the game for that, I don't think.
Yeah.
Another possible con that I have with this game. Some of the times, well, not some of the times, this does happen fairly often. There's a lot of knowns about what's going to happen with the marbles, right? Like that, you just know that they're going to fall down the chutes that they're right in front of. Now, obviously, as it gets closer towards the bottom, then it might get a little bit different. But well, no, really, you know where they're all going to end.
You can follow the path.
Yeah, you can follow the path. what I'm getting at is that it would be nice if there was some T or whatever you call these A points in the fall,
where you wouldn't know
where it could fall on the left or it could fall on the right. And I get that. That adds randomness to the game. And for it to be more of a strategic game, you don't want a whole lot of randomness. But what I like about that is that if I go lower in the mountain, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that marble that's lined up on that side of the mountain. It could fall over to the other side, and that might persuade me enough not to go in the bottom of the mountain, but to go higher up to where I can avoid where it might hit that A drop. And so if there were ways for the marbles to not be so known where they're going to fall, that might persuade me to pay more cards to go higher up on the mountain. And I think that would have been a cool idea with the game. I understand why they didn't do it. I would like to see what the game would have been like had they done that, and what that would have done with the strategy. Okay, let's get to our scores with this one. I will go first. I do really enjoy this game quite a bit. There were some worries at the 2-player count. I'm pleased to report that the game is much, much, much better at a higher player count. Although, that being said, we do play a lot of games at 2 players. So that is going to lower the score just a tad for me on this one. I'm probably going to be at like maybe an 8 on this one, which is still really, really high, and I really do enjoy this game. It's possibly in a top 10 for me. And, you know, it might be kind of right there at the 8, 9, 10 range. Honorable mention, who knows, somewhere in that ballpark. Really enjoy it. It's a novel concept. There are just a few things that I wish were a little different about it, but that's where I'm at. Where are you at on this one? I was about the
same. I was going to say an 8.1.
Okay. All right. Any reasons for that?
I mean, kind of the same reasons you said. It was a lot more fun with 4-player, but I also know that our 2 best friends who we play games with often like this game, so it is likely to be played even if me and Lance don't play it, just the 2 of us. So.
And they are more casual gamers than they are
like to play
gamers.
The same games over and over again, and this is one that I don't think we would mind doing.
No, and they've even asked, because we've played it more than once with them.
And they've said, please, Lance, don't teach us another game.
We want to play this one again. So that gives credit to it being a good game. So. Well, there you go. We're in the same ballpark. 8 for me, 8.1 for Sam. You might be seeing it again towards the end of the year in a top 10 video. Who knows? The game is 12 Rivers. It is from Good Games Publishing. Leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you think about this unique 3D game.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.